Hi there, Mike.
Hey Stephen, how you doing?
Good, good. How are you today?
Can't complain. Other than
That's
being
good.
stuck in, other than a Kerry man being stuck in Cork for the day.
All right. What has you down there for the day?
And I work out of Cork one day a week,
Oh,
just down in
very good.
the bricks and mortar office for the day.
Okay, brilliant.
So,
Well, listen, thanks a million for joining today. I know you're really busy, so thanks for taking time out of your busy
not at
day.
all,
Um,
not at all. Happy to be here.
yeah, so I know the legal process when buying a house, getting a mortgage, buying a house can be very frustrating for people. So it's great to have companies like you that are coming into the market, trying to make the whole thing a bit more efficient and the process a lot easier for the customer. So yeah, do you want to just kick off by maybe just quickly introducing your company?
Yeah, I suppose my name is Mike Stack. I'm the head of legal for Beam. So Beam are we're a digital conveyancing company that effectively our main focus is to try and de-stress the whole purchasing journey that our clients encounter. And we deliver this through a key objective of transparency and client services. It's the application of many technological tools that are out there, together with integration with a number of mortgage brokers. But the key delivery mechanism is through an open portal that our clients have full access to all the time, so they know exactly where their transaction is 24/7. There's no waking up in the middle of the night wondering what's going to happen next, or is the house going to be taken out from underneath our feet. They can see it in milestones. They can see
Everything's there and they can check
everything.
what's going on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've kind of taken the unusual position of putting everything up. So all documentation, all engagement with anybody else, from engineers to the mortgage brokers to the other side solicitors to the bank, it's all fully transparent, all
Brilliant.
available all the time.
It's a brave move from you guys, letting everyone know exactly what's happening on your side. But it's fantastic. The transparency is really good, and we've had a few customers there which have used you guys, and they love the portal. They love being able to see the clear updates exactly where they are, and they can obviously pick up the phone and speak to you guys at any time as well, which is great.
It is, I suppose, one of our key delivery functions is that we've a lot of support staff that basically are the front line. So rather than getting people who don't know the in-depth knowledge of the case, all of our guys know exactly what's going on in all the cases because they have access to the same information. So
Okay,
we've like everything else, it's you're only as good as the people you work with,
absolutely
and we're just very lucky so far to have really excellent frontline staff.
brilliant. That's great. And there's a few questions that some of our followers have put up, and I might just ask you a few of those if that's okay, Brian.
Yep.
Uh, so one was, when should a home buyer seek the advice of a solicitor? Um, when they find a property, or earlier, or when do you think they should speak to solicitors like you guys?
Well, our view is that the normal run of the mill is people don't go to the solicitor until they've the deposit paid, and they realise then when they're asked the question by the auctioneer who their solicitor is that they actually need one. But
Yeah,
our view in Beam is that get to us as soon as you can. When you're applying for your mortgage and you're taking that step of, okay, we're going to settle down here. The dream of Australia is over. We're nailed into our full-time job. Let's take the big step. To me, that's when you kind of kick in with your solicitor.
so
It opens the
with
door,
our
and
customers then, or anyone looking to buy a home, they should really be applying and registering for your portal before they even find a property.
I think so. I think there's a like we've a view that we're on the journey with the individual.
Yeah,
That it's a start to finish journey. It kind of feeds into our fee mechanism as well. That we only charge a fee on success. When you get the keys, we get paid. So I think the earlier in the journey that we join you, the better. And there's always a few queries that arise even during the bidding process that an auctioneer may kind of give some information to somebody that they're not exactly too sure what it is. They Google it. They're not exactly too clear on which of the 17 answers is the right answer. So, having the ability to kind of kick in with us at any time, just ask any question, I think helps the journey rather than acts as a hurt.
yeah. Absolutely. And for the customer, it's important to have that support.
Yeah,
Absolutely. And they know they can call on you, ask you questions. And it's the exact same for us as well. It's never too early to speak to a mortgage broker. We would encourage people to speak to us as early as possible because they need to get their ducks in a row. They need to start their savings. They need to get bank accounts in order. They need to plan for what job they're going to be
yeah.
in when they apply for the mortgage. So there's a lot of getting your ducks in a row. So yeah, we would always advise people to speak to a mortgage broker, preferably ourselves, as early as possible, and we'll help you get your ducks in a row and get ready for that mortgage approval.
Yeah, and we can't recommend the services that mortgage brokers provide highly enough, because they're a key part of our delivery system, in that the unseen work that the broker does post the loan offer coming out is huge for us, or
Yeah.
for us, and it's why we limit our client flow at the moment to those that go through mortgage brokers, primarily because of the amount of work that the broker does in the background. So I think rather than getting on board with you as early, the value of having a mortgage broker to a client can't be quantified.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a question we get all the time as well. Why would I use a mortgage broker and not just go directly to my bank?
Yeah,
The main answer I give to people, I set up this company 20 years ago, and the answer I gave back then is really still the same as the answer I give now. It's when you go to your bank, they're only going to give you the options that they themselves have an offer for you. So you're restricting your choice to Bank of Ireland, AIB, or whoever you go to directly. And they're not going to tell you if the bank down the road has a better rate for them. Likewise, if the bank down the road will give them more, or so it's important to speak to a broker so that you know what all of your options are in terms of rate, in terms of loan amount, and a broker like ourselves will guide you through the process from start to finish.
yeah.
So yeah, it's really important to have that help and advice on your side. So another question we got in there from customers are, is there anything that young couples should look out for when buying a property together?
I suppose when they start out together, the interaction is all very good. It's
Yeah,
highly romantic. Everybody's still talking to each other, and they kiss each other. Everybody kisses each other good
yeah,
night. But
yeah,
you just have to be wary that can turn in time. So from a legal point of view, and it's something that we offer as part of the service if anybody wants it, is a co-ownership agreement. That is a standard generic document that just says, okay, if we go our separate ways, this is the rules of engagement after the event.
okay,
Or if, for example, if there is a young couple but only one is going on the mortgage, but they'll both be contributing to the mortgage, then you'd look for a contribution agreement just to sit in the background as well.
yeah,
Just so that there's a very simple document. It's not as serious as a prenuptial agreement, but it's just there in case
yeah.
things go
It's there as a
sideways.
safe, just in
Yeah,
case, so everybody knows
that's
where.
it.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and it's important from start to finish of the process, both from us dealing with mortgage customers, and I'm sure for you guys dealing with people as well. Transparency really is key, and it's important
Absolutely.
for exactly where you stand. So, if young couples are going into the home buying process knowing exactly where they stand, yeah, I think it's very important. That's great advice that you're giving the customers to get that agreement set up. And in terms of the different types of registrations, like, does it matter to you what way, if a couple is married, for example,
Mhm.
or if they're single, do you do the registration in a different way, or is it the same?
No, we apply the same process. I think the whole sanctity issue of marriage has somewhat kind of become an archaic view. Our view is that if you're buying it together, it is a transaction. You're buying an asset. It's a very expensive asset, and so it's the same approach whether it's a married couple, cohabitating couple, or single individuals buying
Okay,
as a partnership. I think it really is, you take it as you see it, but you
yeah,
try and make it, do it in the way that best suits the client.
okay. Another question we've got, Mike, is what could delay the process from when you go sale agreed to when you get your keys? What kind of things delay the process? But we find
So
ourselves that mainly it seems to be the seller's solicitor not having the ducks in a row. It happens quite a lot, we find. But what's your experience of the process? What do you think causes delays?
Well, I suppose it's that unjustifiable delay issue, which is the creation of Beam, which justified the creation of Beam on the basis that it seemed to be just accepted delays were that the industry standard was 16 to 20 weeks, because that's just the delays that were there were accepted. What we're finding is that if a seller is not a ready seller, so a ready seller is somebody who has gone about getting their ducks in a row before they go to their auctioneer, and that they're just going to their solicitor after a deposit has been received by the auctioneer. That's the key problem that we encounter, whereby it takes 4 to 6 weeks for that solicitor then to get their hands on the title documents. They're still awaiting other key documents that they want to compile together before they can send contracts out.
Yeah.
And of the 10 weeks that any process should take at a maximum, 6 weeks are already gone before you get the contracts and the title documents out. That's the key kind of bugbear that we have, is that that the vendor solicitor. Now, I'm not saying it's totally true the fault of the vendor solicitor, but is part of the problem. But that's where the key delay comes from, is the issue.
I find that quite a lot as well.
Yeah.
I suppose when people are dealing with estate agents, they can say mass sometimes, say the seller's fully ready to go, but then push comes to shove, and you don't get the contracts for 6 to 8 weeks later. I suppose it's because the seller just hasn't engaged that solicitor soon enough.
It may be the seller hasn't engaged, or the solicitor hasn't acted upon the engagement. But I think rather than tar one chicken, I think it's very much on that side of the fence is where the delay comes from. What we're finding, and I suppose this is we get questions like this from our own clients in relation to who is the best mortgage lender, and how quickly will this lender react, or how quickly can we get it back? And I think that would be very much a question to be put to you, Stephen, as which ones do you find kind of issue loan offers quicker from AIPs, or they get, because that then is our only other delay process, is how quickly the formal loan offer can issue.
And some lenders are very efficient. Some lenders can be quite slow and cumbersome. Again, to be honest, I don't really want to name any specific lender out loud, but listen, I'll name the good ones that are efficient. So there's one, Avant Money, for example, is very efficient. If you've everything into them and they have what they need, they turn things around in a matter of days. Whereas some of the more traditional Irish banks, they can take weeks rather than days. So, but to be honest, what I say to customers is all we can control is what's in our control. So if we need a document from you, just try and get that back to us as soon as possible. If the lender has a query or they're looking for something, all we can do is get that into them as quickly as possible, and then keep chasing them on a daily basis and make sure they move it along. But it can be frustrating for customers if a loan offer is delayed through no fault of their own, just because the lender is slow, and that does happen, unfortunately. But all we can do is control what's in our control. So we chase them and push them on as much as we can. But in terms of who's the best lender, really it boils down to who has the best interest rate. At the end of the day, you're going to be stuck with this mortgage for a long time, 20, 30 years. So you want to make sure you're going with the lender that's the best value for you, and the lender that will give you the best loan amount. So depending on your own situation, a different lender might be better for you than another lender. For example, if you're self-employed, one lender might be more beneficial to you in terms of the loan amount they'll give you. If you're on a contract of employment, there's only certain lenders who will accept that. So when you're deciding which mortgage lender is best, it really boils down to your situation, and then having looked at your situation, we find out for you which mortgage lender is best for you in terms of the loan amount, the rate, and anything else that you're looking for from them.
And if you had a punter coming into you that wanted to switch, would you kind of steer them towards any specific group of mortgage lenders, or is it's back down to rate again?
We'd really keep an open mind. Again, even when you're looking to switch, it really depends on your own situation, what your job situation is, whether you're self-employed or not. a lot of people would come back to us looking to switch and get extra money for home improvements. Some lenders are better than that, better at that than others. So it really depends what the customer is looking for. But the way we work is we will get your information and work out what you're looking for in conjunction with you, and then we'll see which is the best lender for you based on what you're looking for. To some people, the rate is really important. Other people like the cashback deals, which will cover their legal fees. Other people, look for different things. So it really depends on what you as a borrower, what's important to you, and then we fit you in with the mortgage lender that suits your circumstances.
Yeah. Our main hurdle with the switching process is extracting the original title deeds from the lenders themselves. It can be quite time disruptive to the process.
That's a common theme among all mortgage lenders we find as well. They just don't seem to put the resources into that those departments that deeds. So I know we've had some customers switching. I won't name the lenders, but it's taken 2-3 months to get the title deeds. Would you find that common?
Yeah. No, I'm happy to name and shame. Anybody dealing with Pepper might as well be trying to get their title deeds out of them. Unfortunately, it takes an inordinate amount of time. But our recent experiences is that they are improving, particularly the pillar banks. It's gone from 6 to 8 weeks to kind of 3 to 4 weeks now on average. I think there is a recognised push there to just be better at the release of the title deeds. Now, there's no reason in the world why that should be longer than 7 days. But again, I think like you said, it's a resource issue, but it's also the kind of the unusual journey that title deeds go on after registration that probably adds to the delay as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And listen, let me see, what other questions do I have here? So I have somebody asking, let me see. So I'm thinking of moving next year. Will I be eligible for a switcher deal? I think they're asking, would they be eligible for the cashback if they're moving home? So the cashback offers that banks have for switchers, they really are only for switchers. However, there are some cashback deals which are available to switchers, buyers, so it doesn't matter what type of buyer you are. So it really, again, comes back to what your own situation is, what you're looking to do, and we'll fit you in with the best lender. But there are some cashback deals available, even if you're looking to move home and not necessarily switch. So that answers that question. Another one then is, what are your thoughts on saving for a deposit through an investment account? So my thoughts on that would be, as a financial planner as well as a mortgage broker, really it depends how long you're looking to put the money away for. So if you're looking to save for a mortgage that's more than maybe 5 years in the future, then absolutely consider an investment account. But if it's any less than that, you're really just better putting it into a low risk deposit account. So that's that. Then another one, I have a spouse with a poor credit rating. Will this stop me from getting a mortgage? Is it possible to get a mortgage on my own? So you might speak on this, Mike, as well, but my understanding is that generally if you're married, the mortgage has to be in both of your names. However, I know there are some mortgage lenders that even if you're married, if you have a valid reason, they will let you do the mortgage in just your own name. And that would be one of those reasons. So if your partner has a bad credit rating, you could get the mortgage in just your own name. Have you come across that at all, Mike, where a married couple would be looking to register the property in just one name?
Yeah, so it's not very frequent, but a lot of times it will come down to where one of the parties is maybe getting a gift of a site from a connected party, and then they're bidding on it, and to avoid any negative tax implications, that the site is registered in one name and the mortgage is in one name. That emanate where the mortgage can be in both names but the site in one name. But I suppose specific to the query raised, where there is a credit rating issue on one of the borrowers, it really, I imagine, will come down to the affordability limit to the second borrower or to the main borrower. And then
Not a situation I've seen too much, but I have come across it
Yes.
before.
Yeah.
Where one of the spouses would have a bad credit rating, and the lender's happy to do it. But as you say, it does come down to an affordability issue. So, the person that is going on the mortgage, they need to have the income to cover the mortgage, and they will still treat them as a married couple, even though there's only one going on the mortgage. So they will have to be able to afford the mortgage, but also afford, their spouse
Yeah.
if they're not working well, for example, and to have the money to provide for the household. So it is possible, but I suppose check with your mortgage broker to see for your own specific situation.
I suppose
So
that's a case in point really for using a mortgage broker as well, Stephen, insofar as, that is an outside the box requirement that the pillar bank would look at, and would get a very quick no, even without having been able to go into the explanation of it. Whereas through the medium of a mortgage broker, you have kind of the individuals who know which lenders it would suit, give you the variation and the option of those 3 or 4 lenders, and then go down that channel.
And that's exactly it. With mortgage brokers, we've really seen and done it all before. So if you're dealing with an experienced mortgage broker, there's probably no situation that you'll explain to them that they won't have encountered before. So they'll know what advice to give you, how to steer you in the right direction, and who's the best mortgage lender for you. It's important to speak to a mortgage broker and make sure you get the right advice, because you won't necessarily get it but if you go directly to your own bank. Just keep your options open, I suppose. So I think that's about all the questions we have in. I think we've covered everything. Let me just double check. Okay. So do you have any more bits and nuggets of information for first-time buyers looking to?
Well, I think so. There's the people's familiarity with the various government schemes and reports that are out there is a key thing. Again, that's all knowledge that the mortgage broker would have ready access to, that be able to guide the people through the Help to Buy scheme, the first home scheme, the affordable rent scheme, affordable scheme with the local authority. All of those.
Just to touch on those schemes, so for anyone who doesn't know, the Help to Buy scheme is where you get a tax rebate from the government. So it's based on the tax paid over the last 4 years, and you can get up to a maximum of 30,000 towards the cost of a new home. It does have to be a new home. You do have to be a first-time buyer, but it's a great way to help you towards your 10% deposit. The hard part is really finding the new home. They're really like gold dust at the moment. So if you can find a new home, absolutely, the Help to Buy scheme is for you. The first home equity scheme, then again, it's for new homes only, and it's where the government will take an equity stake in your property of up to 30%. So it's a good scheme to bridge the affordability gap if you find and go sale agreed on a new home, but you can't quite get the mortgage and don't have the savings to be able to afford it. The first home equity scheme can help bridge that gap for you. And you can use the first home scheme and the Help to Buy scheme in conjunction with each other as well, so you can combine them and get the cash back from the Help to Buy, and the government still take an equity stake. But if you're combining the two schemes, the government will only take a max of 20% in your property. So those schemes are really good. Unfortunately, at the moment, they're only for new properties. We'd love to see a few incentives for people that are buying second-hand properties, but the only things that are available for people at the moment are things like the vacant home grant. With that, if you can find a vacant home to purchase, then you can get up to 70,000 towards the cost of renovating that new home. So that is useful. We don't see that it's being used too much. I'm not sure exactly what the numbers are. We have had some people that have availed of it, but I suppose the hard part is finding that vacant home and then go and sale agreed on it.
The only thing I jump in on there is just for the purchaser to be very aware of is they can't move into the property until they've drawn down or maybe they've formalised their application for that renovation grant, and it's key then that they get a declaration on when they complete the purchase from the vendors that it has been vacant for up to 2 years before they purchase. So it can be a very tricky one with certain local authorities to try and get across the line that you fall because you moved in for a week after you purchased, and then you make the application because technically then it's no longer vacant.
Brilliant. But that's a great example why they should be engaging with someone like you then early in the process. So if that is an option and it's something they're considering, so they get advice from you like that, which is really valuable. Absolutely. Because the last thing you want to do is buy a vacant home and then realize you can't get the grant.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. That would be a disaster. Grant. So, listen, I think we'll wrap it up there. We're kind of almost at the 30 minutes, Mike. So listen, thanks again for your valuable time. Really appreciate it. I think that's given some really useful information to our customers. So yeah, if anyone has any follow-up questions, just send us a comment to the page, and myself and Mike will be happy to get back to you. Great. Listen, thanks again, Mike. Enjoy the rest of the day.
You too. Talk to you later. Nice.
Bye now.